So let's go now further in the show, and I will receive now my second guest, and you all know him, of course, under the name of Liquid Soul, but now let's meet the man behind the name, and I'm speaking, of course, about Nicola from Switzerland, for you in Trance News. Hello, Nicola, how are you? I'm very happy to welcome you.
I'm great, thank you, and I'm actually very happy to join you in your fucking killer UFO. It's always a dream.
Well, long time. I missed the time when we could meet for real in backstage, but what to do, with this COVID pandemic. You live in Switzerland, right?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
So in Switzerland, I guess you are locked down now?
We have a soft lockdown, like the second one, and the first one was a bit harder, then we open up. And during the summer, like from June till September, we were actually quite easy here, and we even had some parties, and small ones. Up to 300 people were allowed outside. So we had a few nice little open airs outside. Yeah, that was really great.
Wow,
I think it was one of the only countries in the world that were allowed to do that.
How did you spend your time during this lockdown? I mean, a lot of music, other projects?
So like the first 2 months, I must be honest, I really enjoyed to stay at home because it was the first time after over 20 years traveling like a maniac. To sit at home for 2 months was actually very, very good for me, and I got really balanced again and relaxed and so on. But then it became a bit weird. So I also spend a lot of time in the studio now, and that was also, of course, stuff I missed, because when you're traveling around, you don't have so much time. Like it's busy, so you have maybe 1-2 days a week sitting in the studio, but you're always a bit stressed out and tired from the traveling. So that I really enjoy at the moment, and be more creative without having pressure.
Yeah, but did it change your music?
It sure affected me.
No, of course, but I mean your music.
No, I mean my music as well, in a way, but I felt just like I'm a bit more clear about what I want to do, and I'm surely go a little bit more back to a little bit more groovy and trancey style as I did a few years ago. Then I became a bit harder the last 3 years, let's say. But now I feel like I'm gonna go back to the more melodic and groovy, of course punchy, everything, but
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
More about emotion, and maybe not the biggest drop and not with a huge break and build up, so it just goes on, like that. So like a bit more classic, let's say. I'm trying, but
less
of course the 2020 stuff.
Less dance floor.
A little bit less dance floor, but I was never really into like big breaks and bit build-ups and smashing the floors. I mean, of course,
but you have some big hits that move the dance floor. I've seen by my eyes. Come on.
No, of course, but it's like sometimes it's many artists doing it very intentionally, and it's just about that, and having a big kick and bass coming afterwards after the drop. That was never ever my goal, actually. I just wanted to always tell a story and have some meaning in the track, or some message, or some nice melody. More a touchy thing, more an emotional vibe thing, instead of the biggest drops and the biggest kick and the biggest basses.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and that's why you're one of my favorite in your style, for sure, for a long time. Tell me, what is your latest release for the last months?
But just 2 weeks ago, I released a remix to Vini Vici. Actually, it's Vini Vici, Emok, Martin Weiss, and Off Limits, called In and Out. So I made a remix to them, which was quite challenging, because it's like 7 people actually worked on the original. I think it's the biggest
you have pressure.
Credits so far in the scene. So that was a bit a challenge, but it went out great, and it went to #1 Beatport. I'm very happy, and and I was even able to play it a few times now before the release, I was really happy to do that here in Switzerland.
Cool to be able to play one of your new latest releases.
Yeah, because it's important to test it,
Of course.
Test it on the dance floor, and without that, it's quite difficult at the moment. Yeah.
Wow, nice. So you have also this radio show with Yoni. He spoke about it in the first episode of Trance News. So it's Psy Nation, right?
Yes, Psy Nation Radio, together with Ace Ventura, my brother in crime. So we have made now 35 shows. So every week, first Thursday in the month, every month, first Thursday of the month, we release the newest releases, some interviews, guest mixes from all over the psychedelic scene, from progressive chillout to psy-trance, proper like full on and dark. So really mixed up everything what we like and what we think it's important to spread around the world, So, and it's running quite good. So we're really happy, and at least we have something to do now in the lockdown and as well, so we can keep on going and playing music. So that's a good thing, because without that, So I'm really happy.
I mean, I'm thinking also about the people, they don't have parties, but they still want to get connected to what is, in a way, not in the same level for all of them, but their culture. I mean, we are every week going to party, meeting the same people in parties. In the end, it becomes part of your life. So they still need to be connected, even if there is no parties. So guys, Psy Nations, all the links are in the description of this video. Of course, go check, because very interesting, and of course, good music. S. Ventura and Liquid Soul, what do you expect? Well, thanks. Tell me, for how long are you making music and playing all around now?
Well, I started quite young, when I was like 14, 15 in the 93, 94. I discovered electronic music. Before I was more into heavy metal stuff.
Wow, exactly the same. I'm surprised. I didn't know. 93, I mean, 92, end of 92, I began to be DJ, but I came from heavy metal, so in the beginning was more, and in that time there was no Goa trance and stuff, so I was more techno and even hardcore sometimes, Gable, like...
I'm happy hardcore to trance. Yes. Yes. So
then the Goa trance arrived, but 14, 15, wow, you were very young.
Yeah. Well, not in a professional level, of course.
I
started to play for myself because it was also nobody around who listened to this music in that time,
Yeah, exactly. In that time, it was even difficult to find, because the radio, they didn't have electronic music much. There was no internet. I remember I had some audio tapes that I was listening all day long, but it forged my idea, like... some tracks, like Edge of Love, you remember? Come on, dance with me.
Of course.
I mean, this was in one of my first tapes. I mean, of course, now it will be always a good memory.
It's still a great track.
Yeah.
I think it's a timeless track. So yeah. So from that time on, it took a while, and then we started to produce, but it was also more a trancey way. And then only in 2000 I discovered the psy-trance, actually. And then I changed my whole view on electronic music scene. So I switched actually to psy-trance without knowing what I'm doing. So I think that was the lucky part, because then I just tried to do kind of a fusion, what I knew already with techno and trance and the psy-trance. So trying to make a fusion. It was also not so fast. It was like 130, 35 BPM, more groovy and stuff. And somehow it just kicked in, like I think I had a good timing with this new kind of progressive trance vibe. So, and then everything started once again.
Yeah. Well, the big kick in. Nice.
Yeah,
and in all this career now, more than 20 years also of playing, and you've been all over the world in every country. What are, if I ask you, like the first parties that pop to your mind now, if I tell you like some amazing venues, like unusual ones?
I would say it was quite many years ago.
Doesn't matter.
I would say like 15 years ago. So I was happy to have a performance on Ipanema Beach, I think it was Baja Beach in Rio de Janeiro, where a year before the Rolling Stones were playing in the same stage. And it was on the beach on New Year's, and it was a free party, and there were about, they said officially, they said 600,000 people, but actually there were close to 1 million people listening at the same time my music, because the party was actually throughout the whole beach for a few kilometers, and they put speakers on top all the way down, so you just, as far you can see, and you can see far, more like people. Of course, it was not psy-trance people all over.
But
you know,
it doesn't
like,
matter.
not
It's
at
a
all.
memory that, and to
But
be
it
able
doesn't
to
matter.
play on
But this was
the beach.
huge and intense, you know.
Near Copacabana.
Yeah. It's like 3 beaches.
Yeah. Copacabana, Ipanema.
Further.
Wow.
And then Baja, exactly. Yeah.
Well.
So that was, for example, a special one. Even you don't really realize what's going on there, but it was huge, you know, like. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Brazil is always huge anyway, but this 1 million people,
Yeah.
I don't know even what it. I don't know. Well, I know because I've been in the Jean-Michel Jarre concert when I was kid. There was also 1 million, but wow. I mean, to play your music.
No, you can't.
I mean,
It's
must have
impossible to imagine even.
How you say in English?
Goosebumps. Goosebumps. Yeah.
Wow. Woof. Nice.
Yeah, that was special. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely.
Of course. Well, I hope I will find the image of it for while we are talking to put on the screen. Let's see. It's a challenge. But well, I think it's a very cool one. But before to let you go back to what you were doing in your house, as I'm sure you had some amazing moments in amazing parties, like you say, no, you had also some crazy DJ story live. So I see you in a minute for this.
So the Ozora story. The Ozora story is like that. I think it was in 2012. I'm talking about this because many people were there and experienced the same as me. Because I was playing with Ace Ventura together as Liquid Ace. We're supposed to have like a 2-hour set in the afternoon in Ozora Festival 2012. And then suddenly the police raided the place. Means like there were about, I think it was 800 police officers plus a SWAT team. SWAT team actually raided the backstage where many of the artists were. And some of my artist colleagues, they actually had to run away and jumped over the fence and disappeared, you know, like it was really crazy because they came full Rambo style. And on the dance floor, while we were playing, they surrounded the whole dance floor and just stand there, you know. And the promoter came to us while we were playing and said like, bro, guys, just don't stop playing because in the moment we stop the music, they're gonna raid the place and arresting people, you know. So we need to keep the music going. So the safest place in the whole festival was actually on the dance floor. So everybody came to the dance floor and danced their ass off. And we were playing some funny tracks with some funny sentences, you know, about, stuff. And it was kind of epic, you know. So we kept on playing. And I think we were after like 4 hours, which we're really lucky that we had the time to play so long. The police gave up and disappeared and left the place again without raiding or arresting actually anybody who was near or on the dance floor. So that was a kind of a big success from our side.
Wow.
Yeah, it was funny.
Wow. But you haven't been arrested?
No, I haven't been arrested. No. The police came on stage, of course, and there was a big discussion between them and the promoter. But the promoter just was like, just keep on playing, you know. So that was cool.
Wow, it can be scary in some countries. I mean,
it was a bit scary, but in a way it was cool because we won the fight in the end, you know.
Yeah. You look so nice, but you have a noisy one.
Sometimes.
Were you already arrested in another country?
I was, yes. I was arrested in India once. Also, I was playing, and the police came, raided the place, and then they took my laptop. And at the time, we were still playing live acts, you know. So I played with my laptop and some gears. So they took everything, including me, and drove to the police station. But after a while, they let me go because they realized I had nothing to do with the party, actually. But they didn't understood because they were not really. I didn't really understood what's going on.
It's so safe.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been arrested myself in a few countries.
What a surprise!
But India, I think I would have been scared a bit.
Yeah, I was scared, of course, and but you know, like if you, I mean, I had nothing done wrong, and it was not my party. I was just performing there, and when they understood that, they let me go. But it took a while that they understand, because they didn't understand the concept, you know.
I don't blame India. I love India. I love.
Yes.
But it's one of the countries where, let's say, to stay politically correct, that there can be a little bit of corruption.
Look, it happened because they came actually before already, and then they had to pay, the promoter had to pay the police to keep on going the party, and then they came back and they wanted more money, and actually he paid again, and when they came back the third time, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, because we actually supposed to start at around midnight. That's normal in India. Then they arrested us, you know, and me and the promoter, and they took all my stuff. Actually, I was actually scared most because of my equipment, because if I lose my laptop, where my life is in, you know, like an artist, you travel so much, you have to have everything there with you. So that was actually my scariest point, you know, besides ending up in jail, because it's hard to end up in jail if you don't have anything on you, or, you know, doing something illegal. But so it was not my party, I was just performing there. But the police wasn't that smart and understood that I have nothing to do with the party at all, you know, like I'm not a promoter, I'm just an international act. And then they started, you know, where became okay, you know.
And you are from Swiss also, it can help.
Yes. Swiss is always welcome, actually.
Swiss passport.
Yeah, it's like a nice red passport, and that's good, yeah.
Well, thanks, Nicola, it was very nice. And now, before to let you go, last mission is the bubblegum interview.
Woohoo!
I am passionate. I'm passionate tour, actually, since many years, yeah. I do, yes, I do. It was on a how you call it, bus station. I was waiting with a friend of mine. We called the guy I knew. He was a bit older than me, and then he brought us a bubblegum, and then we chewed it. But actually, it was quite disappointed. I remember it well because it was very disappointing because we didn't feel anything. The taste of the chewing gum wasn't that intense, let's say like that. So it was a bit disappointed. But then after I started to understand it and enjoy it more, and also the effect of it. Always. In the studio, always. When I play, always. For me, it's kinda weird thing not to chew while I'm playing or producing. With some exception in the studio, maybe in the afternoon.
And of course in the countries where you cannot, because don't bring your problems to yourself. When
No,
you cannot,
of
you
course
cannot.
not,
But if you can, you will.
No, yeah, of course. But here in Switzerland, it's kind of easy because it's decriminalized, so you can have certain, let's say, a package of gums in your pocket, and it's not a big deal, you know. No, it's very political, and I think big of pharma is probably also behind it, you know. Because it was legal all over the world, and it's very, very, very old. I mean, you can go in the human history back to thousands of years, the pharaohs and Egypt, and everybody was chewing gum. So, but and it's also used as medicine. Like today again in Switzerland, here we have a very special chewing gum which helps you actually for pain and diseases and stuff. So I see it as a kind of a medicine and enjoyable thing, you know, like both of it. So yeah, I think it's a political thing, you know. I love chillout. I love a lot of chillout, so this is what I actually usually listen as well at home.
You have some names that you like? Kind of chillout?
Yes. Well, my all-time favorite is carbon-based life forms. I think it's very timeless. I also love Sudawaya. I love... actually, everything comes out from Ultima Records.
Ah, yes.
There's also Altar Records. There are some great, amazing stuff. It's hard to pick a name now because many of them are really, really good.
Well, Nicola, thank you very much. It was really nice to welcome you here. It was a fun one, a fun interview. We will probably invite you again, you and Yoni, maybe for the Psy Nation radio. All the links again will be in the description. And well, I wish you good luck for all the rest, and I really hope to meet you again in a party one of these days. Let's hope for spring 2020 now, 21.
Yeah, 21. Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much, Cedric. It was my pleasure. And yeah, do some magic tricks.
Oh, actually, okay, why not? While you are here, okay, let's do one.
Because it's just to say, because Cedric is a master in magic, so he impressed me a few times already. So I think you should do it, because I didn't see it yet in your show.
Yeah, I know. Well, on the first episode, I did some kind of magic trick. Well, mental trick with Shivax. Well, okay, let's see. What the benefit of this is. If I fail, I can delete. Okay. Let's. Okay, now I have to think what I can do here with. Okay. So think about a country in Europe, but you don't tell the name. You keep it in your mind, okay? You have one?
1 second. Yes.
Okay. So I will. It's a little bit harder now because you are on the screen, but let's see if I can read body language and everything. So think about it written in English, and I will say the letters how I feel them, but not in the good order, okay? Like, for example, I think you have A in the name of the country. There is a A.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, and what is this? This should be a N.
No.
No N, what I mean, think, wow, the screen is, yeah, but the way you, okay, no, sorry, there is a T. A T.
Yes.
Right? And L.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. And okay, I will say one last word. Think about the flag of the country. Okay, I see some red. And I see some green. Red, green, okay. Okay, last shot. Okay, I think the way I see it, I think you are thinking between. Okay, I will say a last letter. Do you have a P?
No.
Because without the P, yeah. Because I was not sure, because the colors of the flag can be. So if there is no P, then it's not the red and the green of the Portugal. Then I will go for Italy.
Perfect! You're fucking impressive.
Yeah.
That's what I meant,
I
you know,
should
like,
include some magic in the next shows.
Big applause for Cedric!
Well, thank you, Nicola. That was nice. And yeah, I will do again. I will think of something for the next episode, and I will find some good targets.
Yeah, do it, because that's fun, you know, and you're good in that.
Yeah. We will do, but I'm waiting also for the time when we will be able to travel again, and then in the backstage I can maybe record some tricks while doing on people, or maybe hypnotizing people, because it's also one of the skills I do. But this is one of the next episodes, and this is how we conclude this one with Liquid Soul. Thank you a lot, Nicola, and well, we welcome you very soon again.
Thank you, Cedric. Have a good one.